Hello and welcome back to the Energy Connect studio at Gastech 2024 in Houston. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me in the studio today, Roxana Bekemohammadi, the founder and executive director of the United States Hydrogen Alliance. Thank you, Roxana, for being in the studio with us.
Oh, thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you. Let's start off with some positive news. So what are the key achievements that you think that the US hydrogen industry has achieved in the years so far?
Well, hydrogen has been playing such a significant role in hydrogen over the last century, actually, since World War I, really. And essentially, we are seeing how hydrogen has helped us take us to the moon, been a key element of ammonia fertilizer, feeding 80% of the world. Being the reason why we have removed sulfur from our crude oil, which has resulted in essentially us no longer having acid rain. So hydrogen has been such a prevalent tool for humanity, and especially in the U.S. For over a century. But it's amazing to see, its diversified uses right now, especially kind of its rapidly expanding usage cases in the U.S. I think that there's excitement around the fact that hydrogen has been leveraged in the passenger vehicle side. We're seeing it do well in the heavy-duty sectors, in all realms of heavy-duty mobility. Obviously, it plays a great role in industrial and chemical processes, but we're excited to see what else that the U.S. can do in order to incentivize and support hydrogen deployment in so many of these different sectors, especially as our society moves toward fully realizing decarbonization.
And that's an excellent point, because there's been a lot of movement around the sustainable energy value chain. And you have been a passionate advocate for making the hydrogen supply chain very, very sustainable. So what's been the progress so far?
Well, there's the traditional supply chain that has existed in order to support industrial hydrogen, especially as a specialty chemical. And, there are other supply chains that we are looking to influence and benefit from, maybe in the more traditional energy systems, especially oil and gas. And so, there is a great need to educate those in other supply chains about the ways that their current products can actually be adapted to hydrogen and actually provide more diversity in the supply chain for hydrogen. I think, in the past we've had just a few suppliers on a number of key components, or maybe even just one. And that doesn't really help with, market competition and diversification and really market strength. So we're excited to see more of that occurring because more people know about hydrogen. And that has been largely due to government support in the U.S., but also how it's picked up around the globe. And we're really hoping that more and more other industries outside of the traditional hydrogen industry will invest in this industry, because there is something to gain from it. And I think all of us collaboratively can co-elevate this industry.
That's great to hear, because as an alliance that brings so many companies together, and you collaborate very closely with lots of stakeholders. Mm-hmm. How are you helping advance the clean energy agenda in the US?
Well, there are traditional ways of helping an industry flourish, especially an emerging industry. Even though hydrogen isn't novel, in a sense, our newer applications are emerging. And we work a lot on policy advocacy, educating policymakers, incentivizing the marketplace. But there's also other aspects of this that I think are really important that are overlooked, which is really the paradigm shifts that are necessary. When you're going from a lot of these industrial applications, not a lot of stakeholders have to be educated. Mm-hmm. And it's simply different. But what's necessary is a paradigm shift within the general public, with policymakers, but also within the industry. We're talking to a different audience now. We're selling to a different market. We're looking for worldwide acceptance and worldwide adoption. And so it takes a different kind of attitude and perspective and way of communicating. That's going to be really important. I think that we focus a good bit on that as well. And we're really looking at creating more cooperation in the industry at a time that competition doesn't really make sense. I think right now we're settling for crumbs, and one of the things that we've advocated for is that we really need to raise our standards and create more opportunities, and we do that by collaborating.
Yep, that seems to be the key, and that's also the key here at Gastech in Houston.
Yes, absolutely.
What are your thoughts? What's been your experience so far?
It's ideal. And we try to create this too, but obviously you can do this on a bigger scale. You're mixing so many different industries, traditional energy industries, emerging industries, there are people that are you've got business development folks, you have CEOs here, you have the policy folks here. What a great opportunity to exchange ideas. And it's absolutely necessary for, first of all, the country's positioning globally to continue our commitment to American ingenuity, and that comes by conversing. And I think that there's going to be a lot of innovation that comes from such mixing, but also just the great networking that happens. There are folks that are meeting each other right now. I've made some introductions that I'm hoping will help spur some of the activities for the companies that are within my organization. It's allowing folks to diversify their supply chain. Key, absolutely. Especially during a time with such economic uncertainty, political uncertainty, and we honestly, just from the logistical standpoint, still have a number of issues with supply chain, stagnation, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's very, very interesting to hear, and wish you all the best at Gastech.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on social media for the latest updates and comprehensive coverage from across the energy industry. I'll be back with more studio interviews from Gastech 2024 in Houston. Until then, goodbye.